Hello my dear friends and viewers, I hope you're having a lovely day. Thank you so much for joining me on my channel at Taslima Maya Art. If you're new here and you enjoy this video, please do consider hitting that subscribe button just to support my channel. I really appreciate it. Hi everyone, this is Taz from Taslima Maya Art. It's lovely to see you here. Today I'm super excited to be collaborating with Mark Ratcliffe, who's a wonderful friend up in Manchester. I'm down here in South Wales, and we decided to get together and collaborate with the theme of the International Day of Forests, which means a lot to both of us. So stay tuned and check out what I created. So to celebrate our planet's trees and forests, which are vital for our physical and mental well-being, I created an abstract statement artwork that I named the Tree Nymph for its symbolism, using 3 acrylic pouring techniques, along with embellishing it with mixed media. In this step-by-step tutorial, I will demonstrate how I use the flip cup, a swipe pour and balloon smash techniques with hot glue gun for the branches and trunk and resined ginkgo leaves. I hope you enjoy it. A warm welcome to my home studio. I'm going to be painting in here today on a very rainy day in Wales. I'm super happy to be collabing with Mark, and if you've missed his video which was up before me, please do go and watch at the end. Hi everyone, today I'll be using a box canvas from Hobbycraft. It's 22 by 18 inch wide. It's a deep edged canvas, and I'll be using some specific colours for my first technique, and that will be a simple flip cup. Okay, so I'm going to show you my colours. This one is Pebeo Prussian blue hue, and this one here, again, fluid consistency, drips off the stick, not too thick, not too thin. That one is the Silicone blue from Pebeo. They're all opaque colours. And then this one is turquoise blue, beautiful colour, this turquoise blue. And finally we have the opaque titanium white from Pebeo as well. Okay, and that's this one. So these are my colours today for my flip cup. I'm also going to be using some Valspar silk paint to add to that as well. I'm going to be doing a layered flip cup technique. My pouring medium was craft glue with water, 70:30 ratio, and that was mixed in 1 part pouring medium to 1 part paint with a bit of water when I needed to check consistency, so they're all the same. So that's the plan. So for those of you who are new to pouring, I'm going to show you how I mixed my paint up. I simply put 1 part of paint in, then another part of equal measure of my pouring medium into a cup, and I use these silicone stirring sticks, which I got from Temu, to stir that up. And I actually went very slow. This is sped up, and that was it. So it's now time for me to prep my canvas. This is a pre-prepped stretched canvas from Hobbycraft in the UK, and they come with 2 coats of gesso primer, so it's already prepared for you. I am using frog tape to cover my edges on the back of my canvas, and I really like frog tape because it creates a really good seal and allows for a professional finish. I'm tightening my canvas with the 8 wooden shims called keys that go into the rear corner slots, lightly tapped in to stop the canvas from sagging. You can also spray the back of the canvas with water and place it in the sun to dry and tighten as it shrinks. Okay my friends, so we're ready now to start layering our 2 flip cups, and you can see the consistency here of all my paints. They're all the same consistency, even the silk, that Valspar silk. And I'm going to be using these little cups to start layering, and I'll start with the Prussian blue, and I'll let you watch, and I'll put the colours up on the screen for you to see, whilst I tell you a little bit about the motivation for this collaboration between the very talented Mark Ratcliffe and myself. Mark and I have been planning this for a while to celebrate the International Day of Forests, a cause that is very dear to us both and many other people around the world. Our collaboration video is going out on the 21st of March because the United Nations General Assembly proclaimed 21st of March as the International Day of Forests in 2012 to celebrate and raise awareness of the importance of all types of forests. Countries all across the world are encouraged to undertake local, national and international efforts to organise activities involving forests and trees, such as tree planting campaigns. So here are some interesting facts about forests. Forests are actually home to 80% of all known amphibian species. Did you know that forests contain over half the global carbon stock in soils and vegetation, and an area roughly the equivalent of 40 million football pitches is lost per year to deforestation, unfortunately? There are so many reasons and facts out there for why we should care about our natural habitat and ecosystem, and how we depend on our natural world for our own survival and well-being. So it's now time to execute the layered flip cup technique, and I've got two cups here. One has lighter colours, more of the lighter colours, the white and the turquoise, and I'm putting that down in the middle there. And the other one, I'm just using a card just to flip it over to make it easy because it was very full. That was got darker colours, so more of the Prussian blue in the layers for that cup, because I want a darker sky at the top and a lighter sky down the bottom. I'm just dragging my cup away there whilst tilting it, and doing the same for the second one. And I'm just squishing out any paint that's left in the cup, and these are washable plastic cups, so I do reuse them. And I decide then to start tilting this out. You can already see the beautiful patterns of those colours, those opaque colours intermixing, and I'm using a card here to use it as a paint catcher so it doesn't flow over the edge as I tilt the canvas. I'm simply lifting the canvas up and trying to fit it in the camera here, so you can see I'm simply rocking it to the one end to begin with and then back towards the other end, and I'm trying to tilt it in a way that the contents of the cups actually are mixing together, or at least touching each other. And I'm using the card on the other end now, and you'll see that as I tilt right to the other edge. What I'm trying to create is a summer sky here for the background of my beautiful Tree Nymph mixed media artwork for this particular International Day of Forest collaboration with Mark. So here I am now tilting this out, and quite quickly I noticed that I must have had some flecks of dried glue in my glue pouring medium, but it did create a wonderful texture in the end. I was a bit disparaged at first, but I later realised that actually it worked in the favour for this painting, and it dried with some texture. So here I am tilting this huge canvas, and unlike Mark, I've not really used very many big canvases this size, so it was quite a interesting feat trying to tilt this out, because I'm quite petite myself, so it was interesting. I now add a little bit of white paint across the top because I felt there was a lot of blue there and I wanted to break it up with some interesting facets, and I used a palette knife then to try and blend this in, and I went in then with my fingers as well and ran my finger through that gorgeous paint and the colours to create this wonderful kind of abstract look. I'm using a torch now, a chef's torch, to get rid of any bubbles that are trapped in my paint. I now start touching up the edges, and I think it's really important to do this while it's still wet because I can easily use the drips of my painting to do that. And this is what it looks like with the flyover. I've got some beautiful colours intermingling with the turquoise and the blue and the Prussian blue and the white as well, and the silk paint as well. And this is the bottom. I'm simply blending that in, running my finger right through it. I love to touch it and get a little bit messy, and I'm blending that down because I'm going to do a different kind of ground for this. I'm going to do a different technique, a swipe for the earthy part of this painting, and this is what it's looking like as it dries. I really love it. It's so interesting, it's so beautiful. And that background, that summer sky, that unusually abstract summer sky is really striking. Let me know what you think in the comment box below, whether you like this so far or not. I just can't wait for it to dry and to embellish a ginkgo tree on this beautiful background. What I love about acrylic pouring is the freedom and the not knowing what you're going to get and just going with the flow. Okay guys, this is what it's looking like. It's amazing. I mean, it's so different to what I expected. But look at those swirls that I put in with my finger and palette knife. It gives it a lot more interest. It's a bit like a ribbon pour, but lots of striations in it, lots of little bands of lines of colour. And then down here it's just gorgeous. I use my finger down the bottom here as well, just to smooth it out, so when it dries, it'll dry nice. But this is the background for my embellishment that's coming next, and I think it's gorgeous. It's almost kind of got an outer space feel to it, hasn't it? And then these gorgeous kind of bands through the sky there. This is actually going to be a backdrop of sky, an unusual one because it's an abstract tree woman that's coming, and she'll be embellished on top of this with a few twists and turns of other things. So I think it's gorgeous. I hope you like it. It's beautiful wet, so I hope it dries well, so I'll see it when it's dry next. So step 2 was to create some balloon dip paint skins for my ginkgo leaves. Hi everyone, so today I'm going to be showing you a few things. First of all, these are water balloons, okay, so water bombs, and my children have them, so I'm going to take a couple, because what I'm going to do today for the leaves of my creation is use a balloon smash technique. And for that I will need small balloons. Like this. And again. That one is a bit too small. I'll tie it up. We need tiny ones as well. Okay, so I've got my balloons ready. And I'm just going to quickly show you some leaves that I've got. So I'm trying to decide what kind of tree I'm going to do, and I've decided that there are so many different types of trees in the UK and abroad in other countries, and I really like these leaves. I love the shape of them, they're beautiful. And so you can see that actually this is a Gingko Biloba tree leaf, and it's got a beautiful fan shape, okay, with lots of ridges. So we're going to do a ginkgo tree, and then hopefully we'll be able to create leaves of that shape using a balloon smash. And very quickly, this is a previous piece I did, and I used paint skins, which is what I'm going to do again, but this time they're going to be ginkgo leaves rather than simple leaves like this. And yeah, we'll do that in these particular colours. So to create a paint skin for my ginkgo leaves, I will be pouring on a silicone mat and doing the balloon dip or smash technique. Most of these are custom leafy colours I've mixed up, including some colour art pigments thrown in. I have Azo Yellow from Amsterdam, as well as Cerulean Blue. I have Cadmium Green Hue and Green Earth mixed in with Peridot from DecoArt Extreme Sheen. I have Pearl Green mixed in with 3 of these colours for its shimmer. And I also have Aquamarine from DecoArt mixed up here. And I put some of the Colour Art Vivid Intense Fluorescent Green and Blue Green into my colours too. There's also a dash of Pebble Pearl Gold in my Azo Yellow and Cadmium Green to blitz it up a bit. And I have a beautiful emerald colour Primary Elements Alexandrite, a pigment I've mixed up from Colour Art, who I'm an affiliate for. All my paints are mixed with my pouring medium, which is glue and water 60:40 ratio, similar consistency to my previous pour. The concept for my mixed media artwork today is a Dryad or a tree nymph, which in Greek mythology was a nymph or nature spirit who lives in trees and takes the form of a beautiful young woman. I wanted to do something extremely abstract and ethereal, but also grounded and representative of the tree of life, which has so much symbolism. So why a half tree, a half human, abstract tree for the International Day of Forests, I hear you ask? Well, humans need trees for health and proximity to nature, and this has shown significant benefits for mental and physical well-being. Spending time in the woodland areas has been found to stabilise blood pressure, reduce stress levels, and induce a sense of calm. The role trees play in the ecosystem is vital for human and other life on Earth. We have a symbiotic relationship with trees and forests. We breathe in oxygen and breathe out carbon dioxide. Trees, on the other hand, take in carbon dioxide and release oxygen into the atmosphere. We are constantly in a cycle of breath, a relationship where we are dependent on each other for our life. Forests are also our sanctuaries. They give us half of all our oxygen, clean out our air, and regulate our climate. They give us food, shade and shelter, and stop the ground that we walk on from washing away. We also share 50% of our DNA with trees. And not only that, humans have a special bond with trees. Research has shown that when we are around trees, we're happier, less stressed and less anxious. Our cortisol levels drop, our blood pressure lowers. I've enjoyed my own quiet love affair with trees since I was a child. According to German forester Peter Wohlleben, trees have their own communities and families. They form tribes to help each other out. In his best-selling book, The Hidden Life of Trees, he speaks about how trees talk to each other and share their resources. He claims that trees have friends, feel loneliness and pain, and communicate underground via the wood wide web. So you would have just seen me use a balloon to dip into small puddles of colours on my silicone mat to create this paint skin that I need for my leaves. Here I've drawn out my outline of my tree nymph onto my canvas directly with Posca pen. I'm waiting for my paint skin to dry so I can cut it out in the shape of a Gingko Biloba tree leaf. I deliberately chose the Gingko Biloba tree for my tree nymph because Gingko leaves are not only beautiful in their form and structure, but they're also celebrated symbols of hope, strength and resilience. The tree on which the leaf grows, the Gingko tree, is also native to Southeast Asia. It's one of the oldest living tree species, dating back to around 270 million years, and its uniquely distinctive fan-shaped leaves make it easily recognizable. In autumn, Gingko leaves turn a vibrant yellow before falling, but this will be a summer Gingko tree. Extracts from Gingko leaves are used for herbal remedies and have been used in traditional Chinese medicine for centuries and believed to improve memory, cognitive function, and circulation. So now my paint skin is dry, I'm about to peel it off my silicone mat, and this is such a satisfying moment really. I love peeling paint skins off silicone mats, and I'm just putting my finger underneath and lifting up the edges. It is a rather thin skin, but nevertheless it comes off quite well. And I've also printed out some outline on card and cut that out of some Gingko leaves on a branch. I resized that on my computer to fit the leaves that are going to be on this specific size tree on my canvas. Now I was hoping to use this as a template, but when I cut out the leaves they were rather thin, so I decided actually what I'm going to do is take a picture of my paint skin, print it out on photo paper, glossy photo paper here, and then cut that out, and that was much more sturdier, and it was still my artwork in those colours and the patterns within the leaves, and that worked really, really well. I'm just placing them across the top of the canvas now to see where they would go and how many more leaves I need to print out and cut out. So in my creative process I tend to make a lot of decisions along the way, and here I'm trying to decide how many leaves should be on this tree and how sparse I want it or how thick I want it in terms of foliage. I'm also creatively trying to work out how I will make this photo paper waterproof as much as possible and seal it, as well as what I will do next. So the next stage is to create my tree branches or hair and tree trunk and bark. I'm going to place my large translucent silicone mat over my canvas like so, and I will be tracing over my pen outline with a mini hot glue gun using 7x200mm brown glue sticks that I found on Amazon. I actually find this part of the creative process really very therapeutic, and I have many other videos where I've used a hot glue gun, which was inspired by Tanya Munt, so check out her page on Facebook called Crafts and Sass. I love how in the moment and lost in my thoughts I get when I'm doing this kind of work. It's very, very therapeutic and relaxing and very much about mindfulness. My friend Mark Ratcliffe is very, very big on mindfulness and creativity or art, so if you haven't checked out his channel, please do go and have a look at it and look at the amazing creations he has on there, and you'll find that most of his videos are actually so calming and reassuring. So now I'll play a little bit of relaxing music for you, so sit back and watch it unfold. And of course, if you're enjoying my video so far, please do consider hitting the like, share and subscribe buttons. I really appreciate the support to help grow my channel. So now for the exciting bit, I get to peel off this glue outline from my silicone mat. It's quite easy to get off, as you can see. I just lift it right off and I get to place it over my canvas and see where she fits over the lines that I've already drawn. And I try to actually see if I can align it. I'm going to be using craft glue to glue this on and use a sponge to do that on the back of this glue outline. And I can see it looks spectacular. Wow, what do you guys think? I think it's starting to really come together, this piece. I'm going to do a dump and swirl across the bottom and a swipe as well to tie it all together, as well as her dress using the hot glue. I don't know about you, but that flip cut background, the movement in those branches and tree lines, and the way that she stood, I think it's just really spectacular. It's coming together so well. I absolutely love it already, and I can't wait to see what other elements I can attach to this. Do leave me a comment to let me know what you guys think. And here are all those leaves. I'm starting to assemble them and see how they would look and what position to place them. So onwards, my friends, to the next stage of painting the nymph in terms of her skin colouring, and I mixed up a couple of colours to get the right colouring for her. And I do a bit of shading as well. I use my paintbrush for this. And then I will be doing her dress and the dump and swirl below, the earthy tones that I'm going to do for the swipe underneath the dump and swirl swipe. And now it's time for the third acrylic pouring technique, the dump and swirl and swipe pour for the ground. These are my colours. I have lamp black, pearl black, burnt umber, burnt sienna, deco art, rose quartz, yellow ochre, Reeves bronze, iridescent silver and pearl white from across brands such as Amsterdam, Pebbio, Arteza and Reeves, and I've used the same pouring medium and same consistency as before. All details are in my description box below. So for my dump and swirl and swipe technique, now I'm going to layer my earthy tones, my colours, across the base of this canvas, and I'm going to then throw in some of my Valspar silk paint as well, which is the same thin consistency, and do my dump and swirl that way. I'm just going to use the black paint, the lamp black, to layer across my colours and then swipe over it with some black cell activator as well. And I chose these rich earthy colours and the metallics as well, just to tie in together all the different elements in this painting, including the vibrant brown and bronze of her earthy dress, her bark dress, as well as the branches that create her hair. And I thought this would be the perfect solution. Did you know that you too can participate in celebrating the International Day of Forests by joining the conversation on social media using the Forest Day hashtag? The actual theme for the International Day of Forests 2024 is Forests and Innovation, New Solutions for a Better World, and it relates to the battle against deforestation, which requires new technological advancements, because 10 million hectares are actually lost annually due to deforestation, and approximately 70 million hectares are affected by fires. And innovations are essential for early warning systems, sustainable commodity production, and empowering Indigenous people through land mapping and climate finance access. So we have every reason to celebrate our forests. Today, forests cover more than 30% of the world's land and contain more than 60,000 tree species, many which are as yet unidentified. Forests provide food, fibre, water and medicine for approximately 1.6 billion of the world's poorest people, including Indigenous peoples with unique cultures. And now that the earthy ground of the forest is dry, I'm just going to add some craft PV in the back of a sponge and glue on that headpiece, the branches, onto my canvas and position it correctly over the lines I created earlier. I leave this to dry overnight with a few weights on top. And now I'm going to create the dress. I'm going to use a similar kind of tree-like, bark-like effect using my hot glue gun. And I'm simply going at it now, just kind of haphazardly, because as you know, trees can be quite haphazard. And I'm really enjoying this process at this point. After pondering on it for a while of how to make my leaves more hardy, I came up with an idea, and this was to dip the leaves in Liquitex high gloss varnish and leave it to dry overnight on some netting, and this really coated them very well and gave them a beautiful sheen. I started using diamond glaze to glue my leaves down, but because they're 3D in terms of the branches, I needed to switch to hot glue, which worked really well to elevate them from the canvas, making it look really three-dimensional. It's at this stage I get super excited because I can see it all coming together and it's just looking so spectacular. I added a few of the glue globules I fell off the glue gun onto a hairline to finish that off. And it was just a case of applying some leaves then and some bronze paint down on the barky part of her trunk, which really gave it a beautiful shimmer. So my dear friends, if you've come this far, here is the final fluid art mixed media artwork that I've created for this collaboration with Mark Ratcliffe. It's a big celebration of the International Day of Forests, marking the event 21st of March, and I hope you like it. I hope you've enjoyed the journey with me from a blank canvas to this finalised piece, and please do let me know in the comment box below what you think of this piece. I think it's probably one of the best pieces I've ever done, to be honest. Lots of different stages in it, lots of different fluid art techniques and paint pouring techniques, as well as mixed media. So she is my tree nymph or dryad, embellished with beautiful Gingko Biloba leaves, and she represents the tree of life and our symbiotic relationship with the environment and the woods and the forests on our planet. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Mark Ratcliffe from the bottom of my heart to agreeing to do this collaboration with me. I think you brought out the best in me, Mark. I watched a lot of your videos and I was so inspired by your different techniques on fluid art. And I enjoyed our inspiring conversations as well. And here was the flyover and a couple of pictures of the final piece from different angles as well. So thank you again for joining me on this collaboration, and thank you for watching, all of you viewers. So please do go back to see Mark's video if you missed it. I'll put the link down in the description box below to his video as well. And here it is at the moment up, and it's also for sale. So please send any inquiries to my email address. I list that for you as well down in my description box. I had so much fun on this collaboration. I had a great time and it was just amazing. I love this piece. I really hope you do too. So that's it from me. Thank you so much for joining me again, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.